Nature paintings. Stanley's computer. Office layout. This blueprint shows the office from the beginning of the game. The path from Stanley's office to the two doors was the first part of the game that was built. Sections have been added and altered throughout development. The core layout remains almost identical to the first version. Yeah, there's his office. There's people's computers I keep turning off. Oh, there's the split. Corridor. The pacing of this opening section was important to be right. The corridor has been moved and altered to make sure the player reaches the two doors in a good time. The two doors. The set of two doors was the very first concrete piece of the Stanley Parable's design. Once this room was created, the rest of the game emerged as an extension of it, an exploration of the contradiction this room posed. Filing cabinets. So what contradiction did it pose, really? Oh, I guess the idea that it's giving you a choice, but it's telling you which way to go, and it's constantly trying to push you to go to the left door, even though you theoretically had the choice to go. The office. Open. Button sounds. A selection of the sounds used throughout the game when buttons are pressed. Each sound is a mix of keyboard stroke and a synthesized tone. Okay, oh, there's the credits. People who made the game. Hello, Kevin Brighting. You are impeccable. At least that's what I've heard. Oh yeah, turn those things off. Save that power. Let me go look at Stanley's computer. Let's see. Damn it, still can't jump. What kind of game is this? What kind of first-person game is this where I can't even jump? I can make tapping noises. It doesn't do anything, but I can make the noise. Hey, these computers came back on. What the hell? They off. That made interesting noise. Go right again. The office clock. Boss's office. See element of the boss's office. Interesting. Kind of a behind the scenes in the middle of the game or the end of the game. But there is no end. It just keeps repeating. So there's really no end. Well, I guess there was at the beginning. Employee lounge. Underground. Early version of the underground portion of the game. Oh, what is this? Narration outtakes. Kevin Brighting, the voice of the narrator, recorded dialogue for the entire game roughly 3 separate times over the 2 years of development. These are clips from the early takes that were not used in the game. How do I, Whoa, easy mouse.
Stanley pushed the number 6.
That's really quiet. Really quiet. I hear it. Yeah, I can't. It's not pillars. Oh, it just always makes a sound, even when I click. This is like it's.
Where were all of his co-workers? Oh, I don't know. How about they're throwing a surprise party for him?
Alright, so now it's just looping over itself. Let's get the hell out of there. I think I clicked too much. It's like loving too much. Except you do it with your mouse. Freedom ending. This was the very first incarnation of the freedom ending in the game's alpha. Kind of like the Portal 2 ending. Sort of. Countdown desk. One of the desks from an early version of the countdown ending. The final countdown. Freedom ending. This is the freedom ending as it existed in beta. Well, apparently I have not found that yet. Countdown room. The early version of the countdown room. This is a very interesting premise that we're seeing behind this game stuff in the middle of the game. Zending. This screenshot depicts an early version of the ending known as the Zending, which was eventually cut and merged with another part of the game. Okay. The Zending model. The Zending went through many iterations. This ring represents the fourth version of the ending, and we thought it was complete, but decided to abandon and change it again shortly before launch. Huh? The game is now paused. Escape menu. For a long time, we had an ending that only ended when the player restarted from the escape menu. Unfortunately, very few players realized this was what they were supposed to do, which is frustrating for everyone. It only ended when the player restarted from the escape menu. Interesting. This Zending levers. The levers were originally a part of the Zending. Players would pull a lever, and the narrator would describe what color they had pulled. Well, I guess they didn't have the dialogue ready, maybe? Because they could not pull the levers. The apartment timer. In a previous version of the choice leading to the apartment ending, the timer would give you 15 seconds to pick up the phone. Not picking up the phone would lead to a different ending. Interesting. Cargo lift. Cargo lift was always intended to offer the choice of staying on or jumping to a different path. However, after this early version, we decided we also wanted the option of the player falling to their death. So can you jump off and not die? Because it didn't go down. The cargo lift. The second version is functionally the same as what's in the final game, but we wanted it to look more like a place where cargo was actually stored. Oh, I see. Yeah, because there's like no cargo there. The office. The lounge. An early version of the lounge. People are going to miss stuff. What the hell? Narrator emails. After the second trailer we asked people to email the narrator for questions. While we had initially planned to use these in further promotional materials, we never found the perfect use for them. Here are a selection of those emails. Dead Strong Bad. How do you type with boxing gloves on? Ben. Lance Perkins. Oh, wait. What do the lights in the control room do? I really want to know. While playing the Stanley Parable, help me make friends. I don't have any friends. Oh, Saul. I'm not going to read all those emails. Whoa, hello. There are screenshots of the Stanley Parable HD Redux. More endings, fewer endings. But Greenlight. In September 2012, we submitted the Stanley Parable to Greenlight, Valve's process for approving games for Steam. The Greenlight page had only a series of cryptic photos, which were still enough to win the community's approval. The point of the Stanley Parable HD Remix is to win. Am I going crazy? Maybe it's the same image. Was that clock there before? I don't remember. How do I go back? Can you check for me? The point of the Stanley Parable HD Remix is to lose. Maintenance room, or where's the maintenance room? Okay. Kind of wanting to find my way out of here now. Again, normally I probably would, had no problem just looking around at all the various things, but I don't think a lot of people would be all that interested. Hey, there's my office. There's another version of my office. Several versions of it. From left to right, the evolution of Stanley's office over time. The first was created in November 2001, second in March 2012, and the third in February 2013. That's cool that they've got all that here. But, again, I would kind of like to leave now. Just gotta find my way out of here. Oh. Something. Oh, it's the elevator exit. Go this way.
Oh, look at these two. How they wish to destroy one another. How they wish to control one another. How they both wish to be free.
Oh.
Can you see? Can you see how much they need one another? No, perhaps not. Sometimes these things cannot be seen. But listen to me. You can still save these two. You can stop the program before they both fail. Push escape and press quit. There's no other way to beat this game. As long as you move forward, you'll be walking someone else's path. Stop now and it'll be your only true choice. Whatever you do, choose it. Don't let time choose for you. Don't let time
Oh. I definitely wasn't going to quit, because that actually can cause problems with my recording if I just quit out. I am curious what would happen if you did that, though. Does anything else happen? This does seem like a really fun game to just kind of fiddle around with, doing different things, seeing what would happen. Can I hit escape? Resume the game. But I'm dead. You can't resume anymore. I think that'll be enough for Stanley Parable. I'm sure there's a million different, well, not a million, probably a bunch of different ways to approach various things and get different dialogue choices. And I think there's achievements for the various ways that the game can end. Overall, I liked it. I forget how much it is on Steam store, but that was quite fun. It was definitely more. It was an interesting take on, I guess, the way games present stories and choices and the illusion of choices. And I don't get the impression they're doing it in a negative way. I don't get the impression that they're doing it as in a, like, oh, games aren't really giving you choices. They're just giving you illusions of choices. You should not play them. Like, I don't get that impression. I think it's just kind of a commentary on how it's done, or you might even say has to be done, at least currently, because if you want a story, it has to be. I mean, it's like you have two different types of RPGs, right? You have the ones where it's very straightforward, and the stories tend to be much deeper because you don't have a real choice in what you're doing, or you don't have any major choices in what you're doing. But then you have stories or games, again, RPGs in particular, where you've gotten more choice in what you can do, but the stories don't tend to be as deep or as interesting. So you look at like a Final Fantasy game versus something such as Fallout, where you can kill a major quest NPC. And I'm talking the original Fallout, where you can kill quest NPCs, and almost every NPC in the game is killable. You can do quests in like evil ways or good ways, but the story wasn't really deep because it's very, very difficult to program for all possible player choices, or even more than one, because if you make one major choice, it can cause huge ripple effects. If you look at Witcher 2, for example, if you side with one person over another, my understanding is you get almost totally different sections of the game. Almost no game does that, and I imagine it had to take a lot of time and resources to cover the various choices. And imagine if there were sub-choices from that. So you side with this person, and then another quest is like, okay, you can save this person or you can let them die. And then maybe that would cause its own split. And then, of course, the other story would have its own sub-choices. So you can see how that would get completely out of control. So I really don't think the game was doing it in a negative way. I think it was more of a whimsical, tongue-in-cheek poke at this is how it is, and poking again at the illusions of choice and how you feel like you're making these choices, but for the most part you're just doing what they want you to do, and also as how the game is trying to push you in that direction. The ways that the game says, okay, this is what you're supposed to do, this is how you're supposed to go, this is what you're supposed to how you're supposed to solve this puzzle, this is how you're supposed to progress. So yeah, I think that was very interesting and definitely give you something to think about. And it was just fun. The writing was funny, especially like that broom closet bit was quite good. Overall, it was very good. I honestly have no idea how to rate this because it's definitely not a typical game, if it's a game at all, but it's still enjoyable. It was an overall enjoyable experience, and it feels like I could go back and play stuff. And I hate that this is just all black for you, but right there you go. We'll make it a little less black. There you go. And we'll begin the game again. Do that. At least while we're standing here, so you're not just staring at a black screen. But as a rating, I'd give it an 8. Again, it definitely gives you a lot to think on. The voice acting is really well done. The written dialogue is good. in the way they do certain things, like how you're going in circles and impossible architecture going in circles onto itself, things like that, are very seamless. And it always keeps you guessing. Like, remember before when I said, oh, okay, I think I've actually restarted, and then right as I did that, I entered an area which I think was different than before. At least I think it was. But that's part of what it is. You're supposed to be going, wait a minute, was this way before, or was it not? That's part of the game. So I find that very interesting. So yeah, I would give this game an 8 overall, just roughly off the cuff. As far as price, it depends. If you are the type who just is 100% about gameplay, you don't really care about the experience, you don't care about, well, not the experience is not the correct term. You don't want to look deeper into it. You just want a game that's fun to play, that has fun gameplay mechanics. Probably not going to be for you. This is probably not going to be the game that you're going to want to pick up and enjoy. In other words, if you're the type of person who played Walking Dead and thought it was boring, didn't enjoy it because the gameplay mechanics were bad, this is also going to be the same thing for you, almost certainly here. You're not going to probably enjoy this. However, if you like something a little different, and you do like a game that kind of challenges what I guess games are, and it's not even really doing that. I feel like it's doing that. It's more of a commentary on how games are made, how we view them, and how there's like the unspoken dialogue, if you will, between the developer and the player, as far as giving choices that aren't real choices, getting you to do things that the developers want you to do, etc., etc., etc. So anyway, enough of me just rambling on my almost certainly partially, if not mostly wrong interpretation of what this game is about. As far as price, if you fall into the latter camp, where again you like something a little different, something that kind of makes you think a little bit, I'd go 15, maybe 20. 20 is, I think, kind of pushing it. 15 is about the most I would say to pick this up. I don't even remember how much it is normally. I think it is normally 15, maybe 20, but I would go with 15.
But Stanley simply couldn't handle the pressure. What if he had to make a decision? What if a crucial outcome fell under his responsibility? He had never been trained for that. No. This couldn't go any way except badly. The thing to do now, Stanley thought to himself, is to wait. Nothing will hurt me. Nothing will break me. In here I can be happy forever. I will be happy. Stanley waited. Hours passed, then days. Had years gone by? He no longer had the ability to tell. But the one thing he knew for sure, beyond any doubt, was that if he waited long enough, the answers would come. Eventually, someday, they would arrive. Soon, very soon now, this will end. He will be spoken to. He will be told what to do. Now it's just a little bit closer. Now it's even closer. Here it comes.
Oh God. I also took it a little bit as a commentary on people who, and I'm thinking of one person in particular, who play games and expect to be kind of told exactly what to do. Oh, this boss has, it needs to tell you it's got a weak spot here, or you need to use the rocket launcher, or you need to do this. And it expects the game to tell you exactly what it is you're supposed to do. Maybe there's a little bit of that there. I don't know. Maybe I'm reading too much of it. Anyway, I've rambled on way too long. Thank you guys for watching the Stanley Parable. Let me know in the comments what you thought of both the game and this LP. I'm sure there's a lot of commentary to be made about this game, especially, again, given I'm sure there's multiple interpretations of the information and the narrative presented here. So anyway, thanks again for watching, and I will see you next time.